Well, hey everybody, this is Chris DiFurio with Keys to the Shop. Welcome to another edition of Shift Break. Today's episode is brought to you by La Marzocco, who has been creating espresso machines by hand in Florence since 1927. They have a host of different machines that you can choose from that all suit your cafe's specific needs exactly. Check them out, info@lamarzocousa.com. That's the email to use, info@lamarzocousa.com, and you'll talk to one of the salespeople they have there, lovely folks that'll help you get set up with the right equipment for your shop. Integrated technology, innovation, beauty, dependability. These are just some of the things that people have just loved La Marzocco for over these nearly 100 years of serving the specialty coffee retail community. And so if you're looking for a great espresso machine for your upcoming bar, a second location, or upgrading your equipment that you currently have, then I think you should be looking at La Marzocco. Go to lamarzocousa.com, see what they have to offer, and also reach out, info@lamarzocousa.com. Now, today's episode is also brought to you by Espressly, who creates custom branded mobile apps for coffee shops. The coffee shop community is offering their customers not only this wonderful hospitality experience, but also different levels of conveniently being able to order that coffee. One of the things that we are seeing so much of these days is apps ordering ahead, but not all of them are created equal. Espressly creates such a beautiful product for coffee shops that want their customers to have a beautiful experience ordering coffee. There's no setup or development fee. They work with you to make this perfect for your customers. It also boasts a centralized loyalty program for each coffee shop using Square. So you get all of that integrated benefit and the beauty of your own custom mobile app. So go to espressly.co and learn more information today. Have a conversation and have them get started on your app. Again, check them out at espressly.co. Okay, everybody. Well, today we are going to be talking about holiday hospitality. This is kind of a theme every year that comes up, of course, that coffee shops get busy around the holidays. Why? Because there's a lot of gifts to be purchased and there's a lot of people coming into town where you want to provide coffee for your house guests, and maybe you're traveling to go see family and you want to travel with coffee and bring them as stocking stuffers. And all this stuff means there's people in your coffee shop. Not only that, but you have plans, and so do your baristas and your managers. And so everybody's capacity at this point to, yes, we'll use the word deal with people, has become diminished because our energy is going to our own lives that have become just as busy as everybody else's lives. And so when we think about holiday hospitality, we have to consider what we are bringing to the table as retailers that is going to affect the way people think about us and our brands, and frankly, in ways that we would be proud to be remembered as individuals. I mean, really, if I am going to be a responsible adult in a professional role, it doesn't just matter how I project my values for the company's sake, but for my own sake, for my own integrity. And when everyone is under pressure and things are going quicker and we feel a diminished capacity, this is the time where we can either withdraw and just muscle through it, or we can lean in and become more purposeful and more intentional. And I think that's the thing that we should be doing. We should be thinking about, look, I know that this time of year comes up every year. There are projects, there are demands. I'm going to feel more tired. Well, what am I going to do about that? In fact, if you're an owner, what are you going to do about that for the sake of your baristas? How are you going to maybe schedule shorter shifts instead of longer shifts, but more frequent? Are you going to do special things for your team to help them and their energy? Are you going to really show your values in this time where especially the pressure is on and it counts? So your employees, just like what happened when we saw COVID wreak havoc with specialty coffee in the retail world, you saw people either have their values get proved over that time where they strove to follow through with the things they said they believed in because it was actually true, or people who basically just downloaded their values from somewhere else but didn't really mean it, folded like a house of cards, and we saw that maybe they actually didn't mean that they cared for people that much. And that happened in a myriad of ways across the industry. Well, every year we go through this process where things get crazy. things get busy, and who we are in the midst of that time for each other, for our direct reports and the people we serve as leaders, and for our customers matters so much. Yeah, I don't know if you've done this. I mean, this actually happens on shift when you go through a rush. You feel closer to the baristas that you work with when you do battle, so to speak, which is kind of a overhyped, way to describe it. But if you have ever gone on a project, like a week-long adventure with somebody, like mountain climbing, or you were ever in a hard situation working with people, and it just pushed you to your limit, you have a bond with those people because you went through hardship. Now, it may feel silly equating this with the holiday season, but people do feel like they're battling through all of their plans and their energy and emotions. And if you can be beautiful to people while all of that is happening, I think that's a legacy that you then reap the reward for, both in feeling good in your integrity, but also later on when things slow down, it's going to matter what people think about you as a coffee shop next year in January. Yeah, we got through December. Yeah, it was a record day, but did we do well in that time? What do we have to do well when we are tempted to pull away? Actually, the leaning in means we have to plan our energy and our response. That's the first thing that we have to do. If we want to reap a benefit from this time that's not just financial, but is a reinforcement of our values amongst ourselves and to our customers, plan your energy and response. And like I said, if you're a leader, think about what you can do to help as much as you can as the load gets heavier for those who are carrying it the most. And so that spirit of mutual help across the cafe needs to be ever present, and it needs to be spoken out that that is what we are doing. Don't just sit there and assume that people know. We have to say, hey, everything's going to get pretty busy. Here's what we are going to do. Here's how we're going to help each other, because we know that during this time, it really counts. And so that's one thing. But another might be that you can lean into less efficiency and more effectiveness. So maybe you're not going to be able to do things as quick as you wanted to because people have extra questions about coffee. Oh, I was able to get through this line so much quicker when it wasn't Christmas time. Well, here you are. And what are you going to do? We can be, like I said, be beautiful to people. We can lean in to these relationships. We can still be efficient, but efficiency is really the servant of effectiveness. And effectiveness is all about not just speed, but really experience. Do we give people a great experience, or do we give them a fast experience? Sometimes we force people to choose between the two, because if we can't go fast, we get frustrated and then we withhold our hospitality from them. And this is the time to really show our hospitality. So focus on, okay, maybe I need to lay down this idea that efficiency and speed at all costs because we're busy, and instead say, even though I might not be able to go as fast sometimes because of what's going on, I know that in each moment that I'm serving somebody, I'm giving it my all, I'm doing it for them, and I'm doing it with a smile and with as much joy and integrity as I can in this moment. That's all we need. Okay. And at a certain point, you can only go so fast. And of course, maybe next year you say, hey, remember when we couldn't get drinks out very fast? Well, in preparation for that, so that we can still be hospitable but also fast, let's fix the bar. Let's optimize the workflow. Let's get a little bit more streamlined. And you can do that. But right now, short of redesigning your bar, it is what it is. So we lean into relationships in that time, smile and cultivate warmth and connection with people. Like I said, all of this means that we are creating a lasting impression on our current customers who are bragging about us to their friends and family and saying, hey, come to this coffee shop. We don't want to prove them wrong with a bad attitude and a diminished capacity. We want to show them that we are honoring their loved ones and those who they have told stories about our coffee shop to, and say, welcome. And like our friend of the show, Philip Paul Turner, formerly of Sunnergoss Coffee, one of my favorite managers out there in my career, has always said, make them feel welcomed, acknowledged, and included. And that is what I wanted to kind of deliver to you today around the subject of holiday hospitality. As you really are probably in the thick of it right now, let this be motivation for you to really lean into the people part of hospitality, especially around this season. I know you can do it. And I'm really thankful for all of you and the wonderful experiences that you're going to give your guests and the visitors to your coffee shop this season. So thank you very much, everybody. I really appreciate you all. If you want to reach out, you can do so, chris@keystotheshop.com. We can talk about working one-on-one in coaching if you want to optimize your bar. Speaking of optimizing the bar or the customer experience, that's one of the services Keys to the Shop Consulting helps cafes around the world with through the coaching and consultation I offer. So hopefully we get to have an opportunity to talk one-on-one. I would love that. chris@keystotheshop.com. And as usual, I will see you here next week on another edition of Shift Break from Keys to the Shop.